Welcome. As we go into the start of today's Wall Street session on this Friday, the 11th of August, I thought perhaps I'd take stock on where we are with the price of gold. Clearly, this is a trade that's got a lot of activity around at the moment because of the safe haven play around gold. Behind me is this chart, which I'd like to enlarge to give you a better idea as to what's going on, because this is a chart which is a weekly chart for gold showing the record high that we saw in excess of 1900 the ounce back on September 2011. Since then, we've seen this long-term trend line be pretty much the upside of the trade. In the last few days, we've seen it go above that. This is a weekly chart, I should say, so last few weeks or so. Going back down to the daily chart, you can see the last few days as to where this has moved, and you can see that we've disappeared out the top of this the last few days, and this has really been the trade to follow, the safe haven trade. But where do we go from here? The longer term picture the short term picture, but longer in terms of the trade that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 months or so, we've been following what we had expected to have been here, a double top. If it had been a double top, it would have closed and continued down below this bottom line here, but instead of that, it rebounded. Now what we got here are a number of head and shoulders. There's the first head and shoulder on the way down here. There's the shoulder, there's the head, there's the shoulder, completion, retracement. There's the shoulder, there's the head. These are inverted, and here's the shoulder again. So what we're fully expecting this to do is to come up and meet this upper side here. Now that would be the third attempt at going through this level here, which is at the 1295 level. Here we are trading at 1287, and it certainly seems like the weight of opinion is that gold is going to trade up at these levels. So where does it go then? Just before we take a look at that in some more detail, I just want to very briefly talk about the MACD down here pointing upwards, and we've got the relative strength index now overbought, but because we're on the upward trajectory, we've got a trend in place. Being overbought just means it's cementing that expectation the trend's going to continue. So here we are now for gold. Where does it go from here? Well, if you're looking at this pattern here that we've got, and if we do achieve a triple top here, and it goes through this level at the third time of asking, where does it go then from there? What you have to do is then you have to copy this and take that up there to work out where the next level is that we're expecting gold to go up to. So if it now goes up to that level, we'd be looking then to something like about 1,377 the ounce for the price of gold. That would be your price target if it closes on a daily basis above this level down here. And if we look back, that coincides with the high that we had all the way back on the 8th of July 2016. So that would be a really good price target if we saw gold escape this trend that we've had here and the completion of this head and shoulders, and it bursts through this level. Now if you do go long this, and of course this is very much on the basis that the existing fundamentals remain, and of course that may not be the case. There may be a lessening, pulling away from the rhetoric we've seen around North Korea, which has really been behind this most recent rise for gold. If we do see a pullback from that, and as some are saying it's just the 21st century Bay of Pigs playing out here, and that is a game of brinkmanship, and we do see things calm down without any salvos being fired, then all this could be unwound. But let's assume that the current rhetoric continues, and we do get a break of this, and gold does go up, and you want to go long this. If you go long this, you really want to be putting a stop below this sort of level down here, which is the 1260 level. That would be the sort of place you'd be looking to place your stop, because if it goes below there, then all this is then beginning to unwind, and you've got a trade which is going to go down and not a long trade. So the long trade at the moment looks good. We've got a little bit of a hesitation here in today's session for the price of gold as we go into the US trading day today. But if the upside continues and it breaks this line here, that's the price target, 1377.